Radiant team ban. Virtus.Pro's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Virtus.Pro's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Virtus.Pro's turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
Slada.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Welcome back to WePlay's Mad Moon. I'm Odie Pixel here with Gods, and we're getting ourselves ready for the final game of the day here on the main stream. It's going to be game 3 between VP and Nigma. We just saw a game 2 where Nigma went back for the old Medusa strap. Worked out great. They got that 25-minute rapier, and they were able to end the game up at a point where VP just weren't prepared to do anything. They didn't have the lineup. They didn't have the heroes to do so.
No, they did something unconventional with the mid doom. They had 3 melee cores against Medusa, which also probably isn't the best idea. And yeah, it felt pretty straightforward for Nigma, despite Snapfire, some stuff themselves. Just sticking to try and true Medusa.
It worked out nicely, and already with this draft again, I'm already seeing maybe potential for that Medusa to slide in once more. Nigma opening up with the Snapfire once again, and going for that second pick. Keep It the Light, a hero that we do not see too often, but obviously a hero with a fantastic team fight ultimate, and ultimately does force you to face a certain direction. Stone Gaze can be quite beneficial.
Yeah, interesting they pick Cuddle first too. Maybe they think it's a good hero in lane against Ladder, would be my guess, if they're looking to first to it with the Snapfire. That's the only hero they see, so if they're picking Cuddle as something different, because last game they picked Shaker with the Snapfire and GH Shaker, why not just pick it again? I think they feel like they need something better in lane against Ladder. He relies on right-clicking. The blinding light can be really good, so that may be their idea there. Yeah,
I think that, and now, especially against the tree as well, an excellent way to clear out the trees with your ultimate.
Yep.
And no, as I say, also you've got to remember the mana, right? Topping up the Medusa with that extra burst of mana.
Yeah,
very nice.
Gotta imagine VP want to ban the Medusa.
Yeah, I feel so, because I think it really does look like a very sensible opening to just do so once again from Nigma.
Unless they feel like they just played really poorly and can, Medusa is a hero you can just overrun. You have a Slada Treant, run at her, get on top of her. You can pressure her a lot, but you need ways to not let her just catch up in the jungle, free farm away, and you've got to play constant.
Well, it's all a huge lead at all stages of the game from Miracle's Medusa in that second game. Let's see what other bans there are. I mean, like the Nyx Assassin, a hero that's pretty good at burning the old mana, and obviously allowing you to kill the Medusa. They do ban the lifesteal, a bit more of a... No, it makes sense with it. It is very good against these two heroes, and yeah, you're right. Excellent core to move around the map with Slada. So yeah, as I say, these, if they are the two supports, for example, they have nothing against a raged lifestealer, so not wanting to deal with that sort of threat. and you know, a hero that can start moving around, playing aggressive at a point where maybe the Deuce doesn't quite have our items done. But yeah, I still feel that VP, you got to see a ban, you got to see some direct sort of answer to it. But no, going for the Nagas Iron ban, so Medusa's still very much available here. One thing they could do, which they won't have to pick out of this ban, I don't think, right? So if Nigma can still take it, like this is also not a bad Deuce. Well, I guess the mana drain is a little annoying, but Treant and Slada are two heroes that enable Deuce quite nice. You have the Overgrowth to keep us safe, and with the Crows of Haze, you know, you are going to have that potential for the damage. And no Deuce today, at least unlikely, as Void's going to be the pick. I'm a little intrigued. I'm not really sold on Void as a hero right now. I think it's a very hard hero to play. Chronosphere, 160-second cooldown at all levels. You can't find Agnums, you can't do anything about that cooldown. You know, you have to really start preparing to be able to fight without the chrono or have some sort of insane guaranteed kill potential. They do arguably have that because they have the Snapfire Void. That is, yeah, a pretty good combo. The ease of execution, as long as the Void can find the chronos, doesn't matter how far away the Snapfire is, just laying down the ult for the duration of that chrono will kill most heroes.
Thinking they want to have something strong-ish in lane against the Slada, you know, fight bashes with your own bashes with the Void. Slada wants to right-click you, you right-click him back, pray to RNG. So I do feel like, yeah, Nigma is preparing for this lane, and then VP, seeing this Void pick, they get a great catch, the Disruptor, until Void has a BKB, he's in a lot of trouble, and then late game, Disruptor with Nag Scepter can answer that BKB.
Really mess with him, and yeah, as a Void, you don't want to be buying the BKB early because already you struggle with damage. Could very likely be the sort of the idea behind the Agnum's build that we do see some of the carries go for at the top nowadays on Void. You obviously having the Keeper of the Light, right? Being able to refresh that Time Walk, you can double Time Walk. Extra chance of getting the bash on the bashes. A lot of lockdown. It's pretty, a bit of a nuisance. You sort of double Time Walk on this Disruptor, he is full over. So maybe something going there for Nigma. We'll see. Going to be the plan. They're definitely going to want to try and look towards having more to throw into the chrono because it. I mean, again,
there's enough with Cuddle Snapfire. Like,
I feel like you still want a mid that's going to be able to. Well, maybe you want a mid that can fight at times when Chrono's not there. You know, he can sort of make. You want to again Weehar on something. Maybe like his Tiny. You know, something where he is able to make that sort of impact happen. Yeah. So we're going to see the Snapfire move back down to us, and I think that's fine to do so. Obviously, it wasn't bad last game. It worked out. Mind Control was able to do what he needed to from the offlane position. But now having these two, well, arguably 3 guaranteed setups, like. This Snapfire doesn't need. All their job is to sit back, get the Mortimer's Kisses out. You have 3 heroes that are going to enable beautiful setups for your ultimate.
The key thing for Nigma with their last pick is, I mean, ideally it is a hero that can damage in chrono, but I don't think you want more long cooldown. Like,
no. Okay.
You don't want another big long cooldown ultimate pair with the Void, because then you're just, when chrono's not up, you literally can do nothing. You want a hero that can play with Beastmaster, play fast pace, so maybe that's the Ember Spirit, the Wind Ranger. An OD could maybe be okay, although perhaps a little slightly too greedy. OD also looks pretty good for VP. You're playing against Faceless Void and Beastmaster.
One thing that I don't know is maybe a bit of an oversight from VP, but obviously picking the Disruptor, you've got to remember that Snapfire is actually pretty good against it. Obviously, there's not a lot that can help you against, like an Ag Static Storm. She can cookie you out of the Static Storm kinetic field. So...
Not too shabby.
Obviously, Disruptor's still a strong hero, but having that save, and as you say, they still have a mid to pick. They could pick something like an OD. They can have 2 ways to really sort of mess with the Static Storms of the Disruptor. I'd just be interested to see how that plays out, because I really do feel Snapfire is definitely considered a very strong. Yeah. You're just being able to jump someone out an Ag Static Storm, you know, you're making 4,200 gold redundant on a hero that's going to spend the whole game farming that. So interesting to see. PL is going to be out, without doubt.
Everyone
one of
loves
those,
an old PL.
Yeah, very, very, very strong heroes. They can, of course, be countered by the build that I feel like Nico Baby was the first that I saw do it, where he goes Battle Fury Aghanim. Battle Fury Aghanim's on the Void. You have that AoE, the guarantees. You know, everything's getting hit by the bashes. It's cleaving. You get the double jump with it, of course, as I said with the Coddle. Could clear through a PL army, but still, for the most part, it's not going to feel great, because even when you have that, you still don't have insane damage. You know, you have a Battle Fury and an Ags, you don't have literally bumping up your right clicks. But again, another sort of pick into something that I feel Nigma has got an answer to.
Well, and you mentioned the Coddle. Like, I think that's the key thing, because typically Void would just have his entire mana pool burned by a PL. But with the Coddle, you get that burst of mana, reset the cooldown,
Yeah.
time
10
walk out of it.
seconds
That
remaining.
really enables this to perhaps match up much better than in the past against the
5
PL, not
seconds remaining.
the new Ags you're talking. Interesting to see how this one goes. The Void has the Beastmaster aura and like Vlad's Solar Crest to buff him up even further. So yeah, I think Nigma have got at least fairly okay answers for PL. The thing that they struggle in, yeah, the AoE damage is still not amazing right now as far as clearing out illusions until they get like a Battle Fury type item on Void. For that, can't rely on Illuminate necessarily. Snapfire has some AoE damage, but not.
And they'll play it safe, make sure they don't get cheesed. They'll ban Nigma. And already just sort of little synergies like having the suddenly the attack speed on these meepos, they're going to be taking up buildings. Just you cannot sort of outdo the
10
damage they're healing up with
remaining.
the frequency they're hitting you at. The lifesteal. And
5
VP, they don't
seconds
really have
remaining.
great ways.
Radiant team.
Sure, they'll control static, some of that sort of it. They'll finish off with an SF for no one of those mids that you can kind of pick right, and you're not too worried about the matchup. As we said earlier, we saw it. No, regardless of how many ganks you pull on in mid, he's going to be able to pull his game back up as whatever happens.
And he sees these two supports, Coddle and Snapfire, and he's like, well, those aren't rumors. Like, it's going to be more of a pure 1v1 mid because
10
neither of these heroes
seconds
really
remaining.
pressures in their step the way a Tiny or a Shaker can. So he's feeling
5
pretty good about his lane
seconds remaining.
matchup. Like, terrible matchup. Steph. See what Nigma.
You're going to have here for we. I say I don't know if you want to play someone melee against the SF. I feel like that's going to sort of make it hard for you. You could go ranged. TA is available.
Okay. Yeah.
I could see TA
classic
being
for him,
quite
yeah.
kind of nice. You know, you have that matchup where you know you can bully the SF pretty hard on your own. Need rotations. You're not going to die in that.
You may
Zeus.
now
Going for the
select your
Zeus.
hero.
Well, they've answered for PL. This is one of the best answers. Having AoE magic damage, you just blow up his illusion. Key items on them.
Yeah, and I like it because it is that hero that's going to be able to throw damage in, and also, like as you were saying, it's the hero that doesn't really. Sure, the ult is a cooldown, but you do a lot of damage with that. He can just shoot out so much magical at any point. PL, not a hero that wants to buy BKB. He may feel pressured to buy Hood, but of course that never PL. It slows down the rest of the game, but may have to.
Yeah,
this
Zeus
mid
is
in the game.
one of the few heroes I feel like the Hood is good.
You're forced to.
But I think the pick's nice. Like the TA and some of those physical damage mids that Weeha likes to play, like maybe the Wind Ranger. You
10
struggle against the
seconds
Overgrowth.
remaining.
You struggle against the PL against
5
what's his name?
seconds remaining.
Slater one.
Who was here?
Oh, the hero. No.
talking about?
Against TA. PL. Yeah, PL against TA. You're not feeling good about that matchup.
No.
So yeah, I think the TA. Yeah, it's a good maybe matchup versus Steph, but against the lineup as a whole, wouldn't have worked.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
Zeus
well,
with voice.
I feel like
good
I've
combos. Yeah.
not had a chance to see a lot of Zeus. And again, you really are going to be able to spam your spells. You've got
Yes.
the Kotl backing you up. So in those fights, as long as they can keep the Zeus safe, which is mainly going to be, well, having the Snapfire as well. You've got the Cookie, you're going to get the Talent, give him the heal. So you've got to save in that mind. And Kotl obviously create this huge fight.
Yes.
And the Will-O-Wisp that makes it very hard for VP's heroes to commit under.
Slaughter's the scary one. He gets like a blink, gets on top of
Yes,
Zeus.
he just destroys.
At the same time, I'm not sure this Slaughter wanted to go blink this game. He's kind of the aura buyer, like Treant Disruptor. Their supports and not getting much farm. If someone's buying items like Pipe, it's going to be Slaughter.
He needs
So
a pipe. He needs a pipe.
if he's going Pipe instead of Blink, then well, how are you getting to Zeus? You're not. So he's kind of stuck between these two tough choices. Which one does he want to go for? We'll see. If he goes Blink, he's super squishy. You blink on that Zeus, your teammates don't have Blink. Maybe there's not actual follow-up, just die. So I don't actually know if the Blink is the right approach here as well.
Oh, there's an exciting lineup from both teams. I do feel that I'm interested in what Weeha's able to do on the Zeus. It's just not a hero that we see sort of like a
Prepare
go-to mid
for battle.
really anymore. It kind of comes up here and there in this as an answer to heroes like the P in these games.
He might have a tough lane too. SF, I think, is at least like lightly favored here. At the same time, Zeus is one of those heroes that doesn't lose his lane. He's going to sit back, spam his Arc Lightning.
Yeah, it's just going to be sort of a war of regen ferring in the middle lane. Weeha
Mingo,
constantly
mingo,
getting
mingo, mingo.
mangoes and sows for for SF, or at least until no one feels it's more valuable to just start.
We'll get Mangoes too. Yeah, he's got the double. I
Yeah,
think the
this
key
is how
thing
you
is
gotta
to bully Zeus. He bullies you. Did SF have the magic stick?
No, but you're absolutely right, because with this way that SF's played nowadays, with the Rays, taking the Mangoes to lane, you shove in the wave, you get level 2 before your opponent, and I mean, with the level 2, he can start building up those souls, and if he can sort of keep the balance of regen nicely, he's going to be able to mess with Weeha's CS quite a bit.
Yeah, I think for Weeha, he's forced to buy both HP regen and mana regen, since he's getting constantly raised, whereas SF mostly just needs the mana for raises. He's not going to get harassed quite as much. The Arc Lightning just doesn't do this comparable damage to raises, so feels like SF has an edge there. SF also has higher potential to fall back and farm jungle with some raises. The bounty rune trades down. Nice. 2 trade. Doesn't
the lane set up this game.
Yeah, nothing crazy. I think this is expected lanes for the most part. Perhaps Korean playing safe lane, whereas last game we saw him try off lane. I think. Well, he's got no trees here. Solo on the tree. Science.
A little interesting to see. I mean, if I get more pressure on Zayats as the 4 to make those aggressive plays as a disruptor, you do want to give the disruptor that priority and farm this match as his Aghanim's timing. Even though they still have ways to, say, bounce people out of the comp, it's still going to cause issues. Of course, if you find the snap itself in it, it's going to be a very easy kill. And they have great setup, both the Slardar and Tree. With the Overgrowth, Slardar being on the lines with bashes and stuns, can set up the multi follow-ups from Disruptor.
Yeah, Treant's going to struggle. There's no trees to play around with the level 1 axes. Unconventional build from Beastmaster makes total sense in Treant. And the Coddle also there, just constantly nuking and blasting.
See how much Miracle can do out this lane. I feel like we've seen a few games now where Void has become that carry that people feel confident playing into a lane that Slardar's involved in. Obviously, the time warp, you're still going to take a beating, but you shouldn't die. As long as you play it in a way that you're only approaching when you have the cooldown to jump, it's very hard for Slardar to sort of start snowballing kills, which can happen. A lot of popular safe lane carries right now, they go to a lane against the old fish.
Both mid laners just playing more on the passive side. What come to expect from this No One versus Weeha matchup from the last couple of games, where it was just constant brawling, but Zeus, not a hero you want to really trade blows with or trade nukes back, using an Arc Lightning to CPS and keeping up even on CF.
Both safe laners are sadly going to have the freest of times to start these arguments. Respective dual lane.
It doesn't feel like a lane, it's like this open field where there's no trees. You can't hide behind trees and use them for protection. And Solo's like, where are the trees? I found them.
Yeah, we'll get first blood though, BP. It's going to be on the bottom lane where they kill off the scout fire. So Nigma not quite quick enough to get the first blood themselves.
Last couple of trees surviving. It's like it was on Rainforest here, just slowly whittling away.
On a place where Trian can, I mean, I guess he kind of has to. I don't know if they want to switch it around, go to another lane. They're going down.
Yeah, there's a voice with Quelling Blade.
Yep.
No. This is how you play against Trian. It's going to play in plain sight, uses high base damage, and leech some XP to try to get some more spells.
Yeah. Also maybe something that they knew was going to happen. Another reason why they wanted to put Tree in the 5 rather than the 4, because they knew how well Nigma was going to be able to set up the map and just make it very hard for this Tree to have an impact in the lane. Moving around, the threat is not going to be there from the Tree.
I think a big part of why they picked the Beastmaster was they planned to go for this Axis build. The Axis plus Illuminate level 1. You don't normally see Illuminate level 1, but they just instantly come to lane and start throwing nukes, harassing. It's a PL. He doesn't want to have to constantly buy regen. Doesn't deal well with that level 1 nuke spam either, so PL with just 12 last hits, they're really struggling. Same time, Nigma, Miracle, similar last hits. He's not having a great time down bottom.
Mid. Light lead for No One.
Yep.
Very light.
This wave, yeah, maybe 3 or 4 CS and a little tiny XP lead. Not much.
Further trees taken away from VP. Solo, I mean, it's almost impossible for him to slow down the the space that Microsoft's going to be able to make himself up top.
Slardar having a great time down bottom, but similar story for Mind Control and the Beastmaster. Neither mid laner looking to make any moves. Zeus versus SF, these aren't necessarily roaming heroes. If they get a high impact rune, haste rune being the big one that allows you to move, we might see it, but at this stage, both be hard. Just constantly nuking, trying to make it so that the SF can't play too aggressive.
Troll trying to run down solo a bit, now he's put the boost, but slower than a grasp. Microsoft to be able to stay on the trick.
He likes his Orb of Venom build. It's giving you a lot of kill potential when you combine the slows of Boras with the Orb of Venom.
Forcing them away, securing the 5-minute room. Instead, VP down bottom. Throne tries to walk his way out of the field. Control wasn't quite there for Zayat, but turn and try and bash up Miracle instead. Zayat staying on top of the Snapfire, but Miracle can force him back.
And both mid laners leading for those runes, both playing with Bottle and really relying a lot on regen. So we had throwing out all his mana to just nuke SF out of lane. Wants to Bottle with a bounty rune. SF gets 2 bounty runes for Bottle refills. Isn't even going back to lane. But level 3 lightning bolt takes away almost half his health, so he's just as happy to go and farm some jungle. He'll probably come back to lane just to like double nuke a wave and run away, but he does not really feel great about playing mid again.
Bottom lane is, and now with Zayat sort of having a bit of a heavier impact now he's at his levels. He does have to play more careful. Out of regen, just relying on the stick charges and his time walk to
Kuro bringing some, yeah. Valve and some Tingos.
Nice. Quiet.
Yeah, but a much lower action game. Like the last 2 games we saw Shakers and Tinies, these roaming 4s. This time around, it's a different story. This laning 4 position, Coddle, the Disruptor. These are heroes that just want to sit in their lane and continue to dominate, and they leave their lane much later on. They're looking to play around like their level 6s. Like the Shakers and Tinies that just play around their boost pressure mid. So both mid laners happily trading farm.
Alright.
Not bad.
Oh, he's gonna try and get it. 2 spells off though, so
That's a kill.
That's a kill for Miracle in time.
Oh, Miracle wins this battle.
He's still got a time walk, so he's able to jump away, but you're right, Rezo's gonna chase. I think he's got the bash prime. He has. There it is again. Miracle tries down. Weehart comes in with the TP back upstairs, picks a pop. Can he kill him off the time? Miracle's getting low, but he will live. He survives. Weehart's there. He's got his back. Make sure that Miracle wins the duel there between himself and Rezo. Other side of the map, though, Kumak cleans up a double.
Yeah. Wow. He got the second kill too in base. All right. I guess the tower last hit or something, and Dream didn't do any damage there. All that's going on, SF makes the move. He pressures mid lane in and then instantly makes the rotation looking for Weehart. He's got a double raise. I don't think he's going to find a way to get 3 raises, though. No kill for no one. And
Zayat's been quite close enough to catch him back. Maybe Kuro.
Okay.
Kuro's got the jump, but he knows that as soon as he's out, Zayat's going to bring him straight back.
I don't think that's one of those spells you can disjoint. Were a few added recently in some secret patch notes that you can dodge glimpse with.
There were pretty much any sort of the banishes.
Yeah.
The actual imprisonment, disruption. Putting on the tower, Solo doing his best to put alive with the overgrowth. They got a hard commit for towers. They do bring in Miracle towards the top lane. He's got the Chrono. He wants to use it immediately, aggressively on the enemy carry.
Yeah, PL's a big kill. The Beastmaster at this point doesn't lane or match up well because PL is so high armor.
And there we go. Just goes in, drops the Chrono. Should be able to secure this. They've got the cookie balance as well. Chain stun him down. Gets the job done. That's exactly what you want to be doing, right? You hit 6, you immediately want to make a play. To say this incredibly long cooldown nowadays on Chronosphere. Very important. And that's the way to do it. Turn up and kill the carrots.
Kind of stuck around too long. I mean, that's 4 heroes top. Like, 2 of those heroes bottom go missing. I don't think you should still be farming in lane. It's a very common time and place in the game, 8 minutes in, for the carries to kind of swap up and go to the off lane. So PL should have fallen back either to the jungle or done the same move and TP'd to bottom. Bit of inexperience there from Kuman.
But no one can set up here. He's in for the invis. have to help out. There he goes, revving it up. Perfect position, and they were not ready for that one. The Invis rune setting up an excellent move for no one to make. Double kill. Cleans up both falls, not just the offlane, but the carry himself.
A lot of that Radiant vision was around that top lane, so I guess they just didn't have vision of that top room where Seth gets very high impact room. Blow open this game for himself. He's at 4.3k net worth, full 1,000 gold ahead of the Zeus. Having a great time. And PL, despite the death, is still farming well, is going to catch up, is on track. At this point, if anything, the Void next front of you should be looking to kill this SF. He's the hero solving problems.
Dire's middle tower is under
Pick
attack.
on top. Setups there. We guys have to get involved. Go for that bots rush so we can play it as active as he wishes.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just so important on this hero. When you're playing Zeus, you know that there is eventually going to be magic resistance, whether it be BKBs, hoods, pipes. You've got to make the most of this period of time. It's so strong.
Great item to allow you to farm the map fight. It goes back, so it's needed in the end as VP get another pick off. I think the other really big thing about the bots is the efficiency, where you can just use up all your mana in a fight. You don't have to worry. It's kind of like you don't have to worry about being efficient with your mana because you have that double TP. Go to a lane, spend half your mana, throw a couple nukes to the hero, be out of mana, you keep your space, you travel back out, and you have full mana again. So if you don't have this Boots of Travel, you feel like you have to be a lot more conservative with your spell usage.
And, in terms of the farm war, Seth is leading. 2 kills. We're able to farm that a little bit quicker than the Zeus. Back. Well, that raw jelly is very tasty.
Radiant are scanning.
Holding the faded break. Very nice. These early game cores that pretty much nearly a whole set of raises. Usually have in your tank.
Top tower is under attack.
And down bottom. Royal flavor.
I don't know. No, I don't know what it would
Flavor
taste.
is royal.
Hey, that looks
Are
great.
scanning.
Disgusting. You know, that's how you support Wander over and force it down the good lane.
That's always priority
Good
number
point.
1.
And here's the combo. The damage they should with this goal. It is that strong. It really is. No one doesn't manage to get the Reclam off in time. A little unfortunate. Nearly had the double there, but Miracle just slightly off. It's fine. You know, if anything, you want to make sure you get the SF. Sure, Reza would have been a nice bonus, but the SF is fine.
Both teams losing their mid lane, and I mean, DP's game plan, anytime Zeus is in a position where they can catch him, with a Slaughter initiation or a glimpse, they're going to do so. You take him out of the fight, that's the majority of this Radiant damage, but unfortunately they're just a little overcommitted. And SF is still at that stage where he hasn't really finished any items, he's very squishy.
Radiant's
He doesn't have anything to really protect.
I heard so.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Seeing
is
a
falling.
different build from last game. No Yule's BKB. When he had the AM on his team, he knew he didn't have to do damage. He just had to be this annoying frontliner that could use spells, play around his ultimate. This time around, Yasha and BKB queued up. Can be much more of a right clicker considering PL is a hero that as you scale, you do have some damage issues. You don't really do single target damage best. You see one of the scarier carries, but this PL's also had a slightly rough start, so I like that we're seeing.
Miracle's progress on the Battle Fury is good right now. Yeah, he's got the big one done. Demon Edge money's in, so that big hurdle's complete for Miracle. Safely pick that up, and now at least have some more damage himself to commit with. But as we saw, you know, as long as they get the Chrono off with Kuro back in some safe spot, it's very hard to be top of. They will have that. The Mortis kisses are really that disruptive.
Royal Jelly for Radiant as well. Kuman has fully left that top lane now, recognizing, yeah, playing around this bottom side of the map, you've got a ward there to protect you, you can farm these enemy ganks. Feels pretty nice at the same time. Kuro looking to take away some of that vision control and force the PL out of this jungle. Zeus is so hard to maintain that.
quick move, Heart. Game have great impact around any sort of lane that they show. He's ready to turn up and turn things around. Got hard for VP to hold those kills that they were earlier.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Where he went for either sort of the Raw or the Chrono Spears up. Two setups that guarantee action. No real sort of reliable safety or way to take people out of the fight on VP. The overgrowth was the other for the heal, but caught under that ult to Snapfire, you will still die. Top lane, tower's gone. Nigma take another. Continue to close that little bit of lead that VP did start to build up with how well of a game no one was opening up with. Is to shut down a little bit.
Yeah, and you see where Miracle's at, and he's catching up. He's leading the PL. SF alone doesn't feel like a threat that's going to solo carry this game. You always Chronosphere for him, and going to play against Beastmaster Raw. There's a lot of things to go through his BKB that can be problematic.
Here we go. Miracle. He's found the setup. He does have the hood, so you look at that damage. It doesn't feel like he has a hood at all because it's just too much. It is just too much. No amount of magic resistance will save you from that setup. Chronosphere plus these heroes guaranteed to kill. But honestly, most parts of the game, I feel.
Well, Snapfire. And, you know, compare that ultimate to like a lion finger at death. 5 it's like,
yeah,
well,
this it's like full
AoE
flaming fury, right? Like, compared to this little stinky pinky. It's quite the difference. I mean, obviously, you know, when you heroes, there's a lot of things to take into account, but that's not fun to consider. I'm talking about just the ultimate. And not fun for anyone who's playing against him. He's making sure he's always there. Not the positioning is too hard on a hero that has pretty much a global ultimate. It's almost working. It's working out. They've got to keep it going. EP stuff forward. Shoot. Farm very well. Top lane. There's the setup with the Raw. No one's starting to break things up with the Red Bull. We'll push them back with a 40 lost Dire. Should get mind control here as no one's ever chasing down. One right click and push them over the edge. They get the trade. No one continues to be able to get involved as he is. Further right is being picked up in court. Now for Miracle, I imagine he will take that for sure, yeah. I want to let that to the hands of anyone else. So, Imclaw and a Royal Jelly, that's sort of the recipe for a happy cat.
There's another hero that puts that jelly very well, so. Some useful items coming up for both teams. Vambrace, it's kind of a so-so item. I feel like thrilled when you find this one. Sometimes not bottom of the barrel.
Actually, I'll talk about Vambrace, but Miracle for now, at least he's looking for Vambrace rather than
PL with Nether Troll. I wonder if he might actually carry that one.
I think he definitely does. Yeah, definitely, absolutely. This game, right, against the things that are killing him.
No.
I mean,
no, he's keeping the lifesteal. I guess, okay. I guess he feels like he already got some.
It's what, 20% magic resistance, right? It's, that with the hood. I mean, to be fair.
I really like that item on PL. Like, no other cores, I think it's that.
Okay.
Or not many, but.
I mean, to be fair, you're probably still going to die from comp. Or do you think maybe then you stand a chance? If you get that active with the hood out, with that and the Nether Shield, maybe you live. You have a pipe now as well. Yep. Now, yeah, the Nether Shield, he's got in his stash. He's going to get it out there.
I feel like his team told him, like, because he's only found it and then he sent it back to the neutral stash.
Someone's saying
these teams like, you should use that. Sounds really good on you.
Definitely. Now they have got the means to make sure that they do not lose their PL straight up in this.
Yeah. Particularly when, like, the alternative he has isn't like a Ring of Aquila or something. Maybe you feel like, oh, I kind of want that, but he's just got the vampire.
Got Chrono again. But he's very hesitant on the usage of it. Now the Snapfire comes into place, he'll still have it, and Kuman is trying to
with the illusion.
It
the living arm is a bit of a giveaway.
It kind of worked, right? They were confused. Miracle did not want to Chrono that.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked. The bait where he was concerned it was an illusion. He didn't want
to end up on red.
No.
With a
so he just
Chrono.
didn't use the Chrono.
Is under attack.
Would have of course absolutely been a kill. No, I mean he may not have even needed to use the Chrono. He could probably just turn and hit that illusion. It would have been dead. No. But didn't want to. So yeah, lucky days for Kuman as he's allowed to live.
Yeah, I think he didn't quite realize until the living armor was there that it was maybe the real one, and that living like
yeah, but maybe that was the double bluff, you know, the living armor on the illusion, and
that would be sick if it was a bluff with the living armor. I mean, and he chronos it.
These guys are pros, you know, you can't count that sort of play out.
They're going Roche, chronos up, like, well, chronos up, but they don't have the Mortimus, which is
it's a big part.
Almost a bigger deal. Like you're more likely to contest this with Snapfire ult than Void ultimate. But at the same time, VP a little cautious. Even with the corrosive haze and the minus armor to bring it down quickly, they are respecting the team fight. And also the Beastmaster gives good vision here. It's not easy.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They want it.
It's got to be. As long as they have at least one hero outside, whether it be Disruptor or SF. I mean, Static's not online though.
Trying to just zoning away, but instead they're going to make a fun kill.
Miracle's in. The Static Storm very nicely placed down by Kyiv.
Kind of wasted his BKB here. Great hiding from Nigma.
Maybe they can go back in now.
Yeah, the second they saw that BKB, he didn't. Chrono would have been wasted there, even though you could have quad SF. You have no damage to kill him in B.
Resolution, okay. The vision they've kept with the corrosive haze. Miracle's just dragged back. He's not going to be able to get up in time.
Yeah. He preemptively Requiem for the glitch. It's the problem. He's got the battle fury. It's this expensive item. The BKB is just not there yet. And
now you do walk into Roche with the corrosive haze. You're taking this pretty good. The Snapfire ult's back online, but it's going down way too quick. With the armor reduction from the Slardar, Roshan is gone. Kuman has the Aegis. And now suddenly there's this period of the game where this trick, or at least, well, the trick that they were able to pull off earlier, that they haven't really been able to do so the last few times they tried to turn over to fight Nigma, it's not going to cut it. You're going to burn for an Aegis, but then what? You're not going to have your Chrono or your Snapfire ult. You won't kill the PL a second time. So this is an excellent few minutes really for VP to get stuff done on the map. They're very strong right now.
And it just feels like they've got a lot of magic damage block now with the pipe on Slide. I didn't go for the blink. I feel like this was the better approach. You go for this blink and you blink on Zeus. You've got no follow-up. It's not really, you're just going to die. Instead, he's just tanking up, helping his PL tank up. PL now with the double magic resist of the Hood and the Nether Shoal. By the pipe block. You're against the Zeus and the Snapfire. You're feeling a lot better about your survivability. Combine that with like your level 15 health pound, and I feel like this PL is going to start looking pretty tanky in these. And then the SF is the one dealing the damage. Like, it's not a PL that's going to necessarily threaten for kills, but you just disable Nigma's ability to fight by burning the mana through his Void and Beastmaster. When they have no mana, they can't team fight, and your SF just cleans.
He's able to just walk in, get this vision set up aside, and drag back straight into Kuman. As the Will-O-Wisp will not provide any safety at all.
Radiant's middle tower.
It's that combo, that vision that Rezo can give. It's going to set up for those pickoffs each and every time. Now with that, he's got the blink complete. So even more catch. This Slardar is a huge threat now. Nigma's got to be very careful about who they do show and present when they do try and start some sort of an action in the lanes, because Rezo will be on top of you straight away.
They use the corrosive haze so well in these fights with the SF physical damage and the PLs. Finding these pickups, so tough game for Nigma, who are kind of just going to be forced to play in the back foot. They can maybe get aggressive when the BKB's up on board.
So run that down, burn straight to the high ground, see what sort of vision there is behind Weehar. Weehar will be forced back. He's able to break away from the attempt now, and now Kuro turns, Snapfire cooking creep, stuns up Solo, then set up a squad for Monster to get him slowing down, cut him out with the axe. Get the kill, Nigma. Can they go for more though? It doesn't look like they can. Kuman, he's just straight on the back line, looking for Kuro. You'll lose the push back with a Requiem. It's brilliant because it makes their whole Chronosphere redundant. They can search for more. They're looking for that vision. He's on the high ground. They will turn and go for mind control instead. Drag him back out before he's able to get up to the base. Rezo does finish the blink rush, but he's just trying to chase it first. Weehar is so vulnerable when caught out of position. Rezo's just able to run him down, turn his attention towards mind control, and that is the thing that's so good about VP's lineup compared to Nigma. VP, with his PL, corrosive haze, they can go whenever they want. Nigma, they've got to take more carefully calculated fights, and they just haven't been able to get away with them. We're starting to see, you know, when they do miss these combos, they don't get a Chrono that guarantees like these core kills. That's sort of all that Nigma have to work with. When these ults aren't available, their lineup is just nowhere near comparable to the threat that VP's heroes bring.
Yeah, they just get running. And that's the beauty of this PL Hood Nether Shoal build, is you can't actually do this without these items, because when Chrono and Snapfire Ultimate are down, the Zeus can deter the PL diving. But with all that magic resist, the only threat is Zeus, and all that damage is being blocked. So really clever itemization. And VP understanding that without Chrono, without Mortimer's Kisses, they can just go diving. They are so strong. The Slaughter with all of his health and magic resist as well, him and the PL, they're not afraid of that.
They're straight back in. VP know they're so strong. They know there's no Chrono. It's the time to really make it home for Nigma. In they go, jump forward onto Miracle.
So close to that BKB too.
And now they'll just push up to the high ground. They're bullying the tier 3s here in game 3 at 24 minutes. Giving sort of Nigma a bit of a taste of their own medicine in game 2, where Nigma were able to advance the high ground as early as they did. Rezo, he just dives the base here. He knows that we are, as soon as he's on top of him, there's no help, no safety that can be provided for this poor old dude. GH tried to TP out, the Yours Council is there. It's a double kill for Kuman. VP are not going anywhere as they'll stay inside the base of Nigma and push on for the bottom racks. Now fire ults out, they'll turn towards GH. Kuro's got to be careful, they get on top of them. Kuro's just going to die. Rezo's able to just walk up to him, get on top of the Snapfire. The combos from Nigma are falling apart and it's not coming together. Ultra kill for Kuman. This is the risk when you run those high cooldown drafts. You mess up 1 or 2 times and the game becomes incredibly easy for opponents that are drafted in a way that just, as I say, they're ready to go at any moment of the game right now, VP, and especially now that they're at 50k gold lead.
They glimpsed Void out as he just pulled. And he's just instantly dead again. Oh, Zaya, what a play. Yeah, deservedly. Quadruple tip. I think he did the same to the Cuddle too when Cuddle respawned. Just
I wouldn't put it past mine. Zaya's playing. Yeah, well, game 2 obviously was whatever.
But
game 1 and game 3. Zayas on his J3 in game 1, Disruptor this game 3. I mean, you know, he's just sort of that player that sort of thinks that extra thought, that makes opportunities happen where other players would see.
And there was a dieback on the Cuddle that he caused, and then he gets the Void on respawn. Void, who was 200 gold from BKB, dies twice, loses 4 racks, and the game kind of just over off of that. Fantastic play from him. Rezo as well. Rezo, to me, has been the MVP this game. He's the one who's led the charge every single time when those ultimates are down. He's basically acting like the shot caller. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what the communication's like, but the way you see them play and who's charging in and having his team follow him, it's always Rezo. He understands when they're strong, when to fight, and he's never over-committing.
This game has just become... Again, we sort of saw in game 1 and game 2, you know, 25 minutes in, all 3 games have really felt like they've just fell to a position where it's hard to see a comeback. But for Nigma, their lineup definitely has it, because there's always that, well, maybe VP will hold hands, walk mid, and you get a 5-man Chrono into a 5-man Mortimer's Kisses. But it's a very small maybe. VP's not playing in a manner where they're going to lose out to that sort of misplay that they from themselves.
Doing whatever they can. Miracle, who still does not have his BKB, but 3 minutes later is desperately can be able to finish. Yeah, it just feels like even with the BKB, without Chrono, he's got nothing. Got one team fight with Chronosphere, and then what happens? VP just either take Roshan or just rack.
It's just rough because you're literally just a Chronosphere machine right now. Yeah. You have no impact outside of that. And you know you're playing around a spell that has such a ridiculously long 160 seconds.
It feels like if you use it, you might just lose the game right after. Yep. But if you obviously if you're not using Chrono, very tough position.
And I feel like for we, he didn't have a bad start. Great box timing, moving around, but one of the reasons why Zeus is just it's a rough hero to play. When you start falling behind, when these items, you can sort of easily counter by items, maybe with the addition to jungle as well, and the fact that a Nether Shield might crop up, you counter even more. And again, cause specifically PL and Slaughter that get on top of them easily. Miracle's looking for this setup, but there's the jump in already. Redley forces some action, goes in commit. Miracle is standing at the wall, now fire off, they do get the 1, Chrono won't get the second. So he gets 2, but it doesn't get the call. So now no one's still alive. They can let's try and fight. Finally they'll kill off the Disruptor. But now what else have Nigma got left in attack? They've used their ultimate. 5 guys are coming out. VP know that they just have to turn and force this back into the face of Nigma, as there's nothing else for Nigma to play with.
Yep, the second Chrono's down, you can just win the game. That's what I was saying there. Feels like if you use Chrono, you lose the game. Doesn't matter. They could have killed an SF or killed some cores there. Whoever dies, buy back and go look for Mega 3.
They're coming in with a buyback, but this Kuro's the case. Whoever they just die. I mean, Miracle's put up with the stun. Doesn't manage to get the time walk out. It's a triple buyback for Nigma. They're trying to hold, but Kuman just stays on top of Miracle. Buybacks are happening. This game is done and dusted. This series is over. GG is called. A double double ult.
Double ult,
That's
that's
nice. A little bit of balance there for both of the cores. No one's true man cleaning up. But with this game 3 done and dusted, that's VP taking the series 2-1. Both their victories, game 1 and game 3, very impressive. And both those victories as well, I felt like Nigma, sort of the problems that we've seen them have before, where they run these drafts that are just kind of hard to play.
Yeah. And the game they win, it's one of those games where you don't walk away thinking, oh yeah, Nigma played the best Dota ever. Things are a bit shaky other than the fact they had a Medusa free.
Miracle did.
Yeah.